coming up on the Suze Orman Show. Are you someone who is asking others for financial help in these tough times? Well, if you are, I have something to say to you. And one of the most extreme cases of debt I have ever seen. Tell everybody how much you and your parents owe in credit card debt now.
I don't know the exact number.
We're looking at almost $1 million of debt. And you ask me, can I afford it?
I want to go to 4 U2 shows.
How many have you already gone to, boyfriend?
Well, in total, about 36 over the years.
Can we just talk? Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Now, I have sat in this chair for many, many years, and so many times I've done shows such as When Hurting is Helping and Helping is Hurting, and I talk to those of you who you have somebody come to you, and I tell you, don't co-sign a loan for them, don't do this, don't do that, and yet maybe you do, maybe you don't. So I talk to a lot of you about helping others that need your help, especially in times like this, when so many people who don't have money are going to come to those who have money for help. Tonight, I want to switch it up. I want to talk to those of you out there who are the ones going to others to ask for help. So please listen to me right now. We are in hard times. I get that. And I get that a lot of you have gotten yourselves in situations that you really feel you need help with to get out of. In fact, in a few minutes, you will see our first guest tonight, who I think you'll be shocked to see what he did not only to himself, but to his parents as well. And so because I know what's coming up for all of you, I do want to talk to you, those of you who are tempted to go to others, to ask others for help when you yourselves find yourself in a situation that you can't pay your bills, you're about to lose your home, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you think the solution to your problem lies in the fact that somebody else has money and that they can help you out temporarily. I want you to stop right here and right now. And before you ask anybody else ever for one penny, I want you to ask yourself the following question. Because it is very difficult for others to say no to you, it is very difficult for others to deny you of something that you want, especially if they love you. You are to ask yourself, can they really afford it or not? What situation are you creating possibly for others because they say yes to you to help you, but maybe your actions and their wanting to help has put them in a situation where they may lose their home, they can't retire, they may be behind on their credit card payments. You have to really get honest with yourself about that, because how are you going to feel when others have helped you and now you're getting by, but they are in trouble? It happens all the time, everybody. So you have got to be strong and look at it like an adult. When are you going to ask, and when are you going to be strong enough to say, you know what, they love me so much, I don't want to do this to them. I don't want to put them in this situation. So with that in mind, let's go to our first guest tonight, Ross, who has the most extreme case of debt I have ever seen. Ross, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, Ross, I need you, sir, to tell the viewing audience your story.
Well, earlier this year, while watching your segment on Face It to Erase It, I decided that this might be the year that I should really face this and be truthful about where I'm at. So I sat down and started writing out all my credit card debt and looking at all the credit cards I had. And even to my surprise, I had over 60 cards, and over 30 of them have balances. About half of them are in my parents' name, and now that I've seen it all, I really don't know where to go with it.
All right, so let's tell everybody a little bit before we tell them the amount that you owe and your parents owe and their situation about these cards. Let's just tell everybody a little bit about your history. And your history at the age of 28 is that you have already claimed bankruptcy how many times, Ross?
Twice.
At 20 years of age, Ross ran up $70,000 of credit card debt, claimed bankruptcy, then again got himself in a situation, regardless of why you got yourself in that situation again, Ross. The second time, how much did you run up in debt?
With the mortgages, it was about $600,000, I think.
All right, so $600,000 with mortgages and real estate and everything. All right, and we claim bankruptcy again. Now I want you to tell everybody, third time around, how much you and your parents owe in credit card debt now.
It's over 100. I don't know the exact number.
I can tell you the exact number. According to our calculations, it's $210,000. If we're going to face it to erase it, which was the title of the show back in January, at the beginning, months ago now, of this year, the truth of the matter is, to face it, is $210,000. So in your short years of 28 years, all together, from the first time to the second time to this time, we're looking at almost $1 million of debt. Just talk to me about this. You have $210,000 of debt. How do you feel when I tell you that?
I'm surprised. I didn't know it was so bad.
Tell everybody how much per month you're still spending on Starbucks and going out to eat.
It's over $1,000
a month. Here's the thing that really, really upsets me about your situation. Not at the age of 28 that you've done this to yourself. Okay, the age of 28, you could eventually learn. I don't know how many times it's going to take you to really get this one. But it's not you and your future that you've thrown under the bus. It's your parents. Your parents, according to our records, it's not a 50-50 split. It's your parents owe approximately 90% of this debt, or in your parents' name now, they have about $180,000 to $190,000 in debt in their name on their credit cards.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And your parents are constantly helping you. Your parents bailed you out the first time, the second time. Your parents give you $2,500 a month to live, or used to, correct?
Yes.
And your parents now, for everybody just to know, they're both 63. They are both retired. They have only approximately $250,000 in the stock market because they're down about 40%. So the retirement account only has about $250,000 left in it. They have a home worth approximately $300,000 with a $200,000 mortgage, which means they only have about $100,000 of equity in that home, and that is everything that they have to their name. Correct?
Yes.
Why do you think your mother and your father have bailed you out to the tune of almost $200,000, which is essentially twice the equity that they have in their home? Why do you think they do that for you?
I mean, I think they're hoping that I find something that I enjoy in life and that I can succeed at. And I don't know, they hold on to the hopes that one day I'll be able to turn it around and help them out.
How do you feel when you go out to eat? You're charging things knowing it's going to end up on your parents' credit cards, because everybody, just so you're aware, the way that his parents got so much on their credit cards is that Ross would run up his credit card, then mom and dad would let him do a balance transfer from his credit card to their credit cards. He would then run up his credit card again. They would do a balance transfer again to their credit cards, and before you knew it, here we were. Now, what was Ross putting on his credit cards? Going out to eat, drinking coffee, buying shoes. He has a shoe fetish, don't you, Ross?
I do.
You do. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Over 100.
Over 100 pairs of shoes. So, and so I'm like going, So I should do a show for you. You have to dare to care. Not just care about yourself, but you have to care about your parents. Ross, if you don't wake up now, you're going to take everybody down with you. And so there's got to come a point, and I am hoping that point is right here and right now, that you decide to turn this around, because the truth of the matter is your parents have been giving you $2,500 a month for you to live, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't they just tell you they can't afford to do that anymore? Now only they can afford to give you $1,000 a month.
Yes.
How are you going to live? You make $3,000 a month selling things on eBay, all right, and you have that down. How are you going to live this lifestyle on $4,000 a month, and it should be $3,000 a month because you shouldn't be taking any money from your parents?
I can't. I mean, I think that's where, I've created over $30,000 in credit card debts in the last 6 months, just trying to pay everything and survive.
All right, so let's see if we can give you an action plan. What do you say, boyfriend?
That'd be great.
What do you say? All right, so would you agree with me that part of the reason that you continue to get yourself in trouble is because in the back of your mind, you know that your mother and your father are going to come to your rescue no matter what?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love your parents?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Above the charts.
Yeah.
So if you really love them, even more than you love yourself, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Your parents need help with this as much as you do. Your parents need to understand that they are not helping you. They are actually hurting you as well as destroying their financial life at the same time. Agreed?
Yes.
I want you to look in the camera now and tell them, Mom and Dad, I am begging you to really, for maybe the first time, help me. Help me in a way that all the money in the world can never help me. I am asking you, no matter how bad it gets for me, if I lose everything, I want you to promise me, Mom and Dad, that you will never, ever, ever in my entire life from this day forward give me one single penny again. Can you do that, Ross?
Yes.
Can you do it and mean it?
Yes.
Can you do it and understand why that would force you to be the person that you're meant to be?
Yes.
Boyfriend, the camera is all yours. Go for it.
Mom and Dad, I love you very much, and I thank you for all the opportunities that you have given me. But I need to do this on my own now. I need your emotional support, not your financial support. And please stand by me, but don't help me financially anymore.
How's that feel?
Hard.
Hard. Tell me what's hard about it.
I don't know. It's kind of become our relationship, I think.
And do you feel that if they don't give you money, that it means they don't love you?
No.
What do you feel? What is that? What makes it hard?
It's what we talk about on a daily basis, where things are, what's the next move. I don't.
No. You know what I think? I think it's really difficult for a man or a woman to feel great about themselves when they see that they're destroying, that their actions are destroying somebody else's lives. And that the people that love you don't have the strength to say no to you. And that, therefore, you've seen what you've done to their lives now, haven't you?
Yes.
How do you feel good about yourself when you see that you've destroyed your parents' lives and they've destroyed their lives because of their love for you? How do you feel good about that? And when you don't feel good about yourself and that, how do you become the person you want to be? Do you understand, Ross?
Yes.
So here's the thing. You're 28. You can turn this around, boyfriend. I promise you, you can turn this around. But you have to dare to care. You have to dare to care about yourself and your parents and everybody else around you. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
You have to. So that's your new saying, not I'm going to face it to erase it. Your thing is, I have to dare to care. You have to really believe that you're worth this to yourself, and you have to not do this to your parents anymore. You got that?
Yeah.
Boyfriend, will you stay in touch with us?
I will.
Right? You know you're a good person in there. You know that?
Thank you.
You know that? I asked you a question. You're a good person in there. Do you know that?
Some days.
Yeah, it's screaming to come out. Let it out, Ross. Let the goodness come out. Coming up next on the Suze Orman Show, what do you do with the money when it comes in? It's like, are you just so busy being a mom, which I totally understand, that you forget about it or you don't want to deal with it?
I don't want to deal with it.
All right, then stop there right now. Let's just stop right there. And later, been wanting something? Ask me, can I afford it?
I'd like to build a vacation home and eventually retire there. $5,700 in savings plus some investments.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Lori, ask me your question.
Hi, Susie. My husband and I tried to refinance, and the bank thought that we had too much money. For some reason, they thought that we were hiding money somewhere. I'm a working mom with 3 kids, and although we make decent money, I'm always behind on payments, and my mortgage company is threatening to foreclose. I just can't seem to get a hold of a budget, and I wanted to know, how do you think I can turn this around to ensure that our family's needs are met?
Well, what do you do with the money when it comes in? It's like, are you just so busy being a mom, which I totally understand, that you forget about it or you don't want to deal with it?
I guess to a degree I don't want to deal with it.
All right, then stop there right now. Let's just stop right there. All right. If you don't want to deal with it, and I get that. A lot of people don't want to deal with it, so they get late payments. They screw up their whole lives. All right, fine. You don't want to deal with it. Why is it that your husband then can't not only bring in the money, why is it that your husband can't help you where the two of you deal with this thing together?
I've asked. He just doesn't want to.
Oh, so he doesn't want to, but in the meantime, you don't want to either. So given that it's a fact that neither of you want to do this, the truth of the matter is you've got to set up a date at least once or twice a month where you both sit down together and do something you both don't want to do. This is not you just don't have any choice. You just got to do it. Got it? Sandra, you're on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Fabulous, Sandra. What can I do for you?
Well, Susie, my husband has a whole life insurance policy with
my
AIG.
favorite thing in life. My favorite thing. Okay, go on.
Well, it's a $150,000 policy that we've had for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And currently, it has about a $10,000 value.
Just before, I know I'm supposed to let all the callers ask their questions before I step in. I don't mean to step on you, but I just have to ask. For 10 years, you have been paying on a $150,000 whole life policy. How much have you been paying per month or per year?
We have been paying quarterly $261.
So you have been paying $1,000 a year.
Yes.
For 10 years, correct?
Correct.
So you've put in $10,000,
Yes.
and you're lucky that you have $10,000.
Correct.
All right, but you didn't make any interest. You didn't do anything. They told you were going to make all this interest on it, right?
Correct. They were saying that we are supposed to make 4.4% interest.
All right, so if we had done the math there, that would have been like a savings account. But at least the good news is on the particular whole life that you have, at least you have your $10,000. In many of these, you would have had $3,000.
Correct.
All right, so you have $10,000 right now is the cash surrender value. Is that correct? Not the accumulated value, but the cash surrender value that they would give you $10,000 if you surrender the policy today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Girlfriend, ask me your question.
Well, the question is, being the current situation surrounding AIG, should we pull the money right now or should I leave it?
Oh, you didn't tell me it was with AIG.
Yes.
A little bit of a detail there. How old are you?
I am 43.
You're 43. How old is your husband?
He just turned 48.
48. And here is the real question. Do you need life insurance? It's only $150,000. So is this insurance is on his life, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, if he were to die and you got that $150,000, do you need it?
I do need it, yes.
You do need it. Do you
Yes.
need more than that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, yes.
All right, here's what I want you to do then. Because he is still relatively young at 48 years of age. I want you to figure out how much life insurance you would actually need for the next maybe 10 years if, God forbid, something happened, until you have a chance to accumulate more assets or pay off your debt so that you don't need as much money if something happened to him. Once you figure that out, you are to go to any of the quoting services out there, and you are to see how much would a 10-year level or even a 20-year level term policy be for that amount of money. Once you have gotten that policy in place, everything is there, then if I were you, I would then cancel my AIG policy. I would then have $10,000 come to me. You're not going to owe taxes on it because why? That's how much you put in, so you're going to get back what you put in. And that gives you money to generate the income to possibly even pay for the premium of your term life insurance policy. That is what I would do if I were you. Let's go to Texas, and we have Ingrid on the air.
Hi, Suze.
Hi, Ingrid.
I went to buy a dishwasher last week, and I found out that my check was declined because a check service company said that I had risk factors, and those being that I apparently don't write enough checks to retail establishments in my area. So I'm just wondering what I should do. They suggested that I fill out an application from them to get a gold status so that I could write checks. So I have a high FICO, no debt, never wrote a bad check in my life. So should I fill out the application that asks some really personal questions, or just forget the whole thing?
Forget the whole thing. Go and find yourself another distributor to buy another dishwasher from. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. All you have to do, if you really want it, is go into the bank, get yourself a certified check or whatever it is, and give it to them that way. But no, you aren't to fill out some piece of paper so that they could get information on you, so that you could possibly charge things and that they get... Are you kidding? Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
My fiance and I are getting married in a couple of months, and we really want to go on a honeymoon to New Zealand and the Cook Islands.
Yep.
And it'll cost about $10,000.
You also have a wedding. How much are you spending on that wedding? Also,
Susie, I want to reclaim my mojo and get a personal trainer.
That's kind of a cheap trainer, don't you think? Are you sure you haven't underpriced it for my show? Are you ready? Let's go.
A personal trainer.
Montreal vacation. Laser eye surgery. Liposuction. $1 million apartment.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. Oh, you know how this segment works. You know very well. This is where you call in and tell me what it is that you want to buy. And oh, yes, I will tell you if you can afford it or not. You better be able to afford it. Oh, I will deny you. Trust me on that one. Are you ready? Let's go. Cheryl, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Fabulous, girlfriend. What's up?
Great. My fiance and I are getting married in a couple of months, and we really want to go on a honeymoon to New Zealand and the Cook Islands.
Yep.
And it'll cost about $10,000.
It most certainly will. All right, but, you know, that's your honeymoon. You also have a wedding. How much are you spending on that wedding?
About $15,000. We're scrimping on the wedding so we can spend more on the honeymoon.
All right, I like that. And is your wedding, just so I know when I'm figuring this out, is your wedding paid for in full at this moment in time?
No, we have about $8,000 more to spend on the wedding.
All right, so we really have about $18,000 I need to think about here when I'm looking at your numbers. Don't I, girlfriend? Show me the money.
Yeah. All right. We take home $5,800 a month combined.
Yeah.
We have a mortgage for $155,000. It's a 30-year fixed at 5.875.
Yeah.
$5,200 in student loans at 2.875%.
Yeah.
And $41,000 in savings account.
All right, so that's good. We have $41,000 in savings. However, if we're going to take at least $18,000 from that savings, that leaves me $22,000 as an emergency fund for you. And here's the question before I render judgment. How secure is your job?
Not very secure.
Denied. Denied. You are denied. You're going to go have a day wedding. You're going to spend $15,000 on that. You're then going to go to New Zealand, have a wonderful time for 1 week. Then you're going to come back. You're going to find you lost your job when you came back because they realized they could do without you while you were gone. And now you're not going to have any money. And then what happens? For 1 day and 1 week, you are going to be miserable for 1, 2, 3 years. No, you are denied. Don't go. You can always go to New Zealand, have a great wedding, and then go home and do it there. Do me a favor. Okay, Alicia, what do you want to buy?
Susie, I want to reclaim my mojo and get a personal trainer.
And so let me look at this. It's $360 a month. How many times is that a week?
That would be about 3 times a week, and it would be a 6-month commitment.
Yeah. Are you sure a trainer is $360 a month when you do it 3 times a week? Because you know what I mean? That's kind of a cheap trainer, don't you think?
It is. And,
yeah. Are you sure you haven't underpriced it for my show? All right, fine. No problem. Show me the money.
I have $31.41 take-home pay.
Yep.
And we have a $135,000 mortgage, 30-year fixed, $14,000 in savings, and we got $44,000 in retirement.
Great, and you're only 28 years of age, and all you're asking for is $360 a month, correct?
That is correct.
All right, and you're going to do it every month for about how long?
For 6 months.
So for 6 months, so what you're really asking me is $2,180.
That's correct.
All right, but really, the truth of the matter is you're not asking me for $2,180 because if you want to do it 3 times a week, I don't know a trainer anywhere that's going to do it for like $20 or something like that. It's going to be more than that. You have to get to the gym. You have to do all these other things. So I'm sorry to say, given your situation, even though you're young and it looks like you're doing great, you are denied. And the reason that you are denied is you do not have enough money in emergency funds. And one might think $300 here, $400 there, doesn't matter. It's $2,000. It matters right now. Go and walk outside. It's summer. It's great. Be outside. You can get your mojo back and keep your money. Got it? All right, Mike, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I have 4.5 acres of beautiful North Georgia property. I'd like to build a vacation home and eventually retire there.
And it's $120,000 to build a home if you stay on budget, which means you're really looking at least $200,000. But I'll give it to you right now. You want to, at this point in your life, spend $120,000 to do this. You're going to show me the money and tell me how you're going to pay for it right now. Go for it.
I have about $6,300 take-home pay plus some overtime.
Yep.
248K first home mortgage, 5 1/8. It's a 5-year ARM.
Yep.
129,000 30-year fixed mortgage land that's going to be refinanced.
So that's on the land that you want to build.
Correct.
So you already owe $129,000 on this land that you want to put another $120,000 piece of property on. So very shortly here, you're going to have $246,000 or another $250,000 of debt. Go on.
$5,700 in savings plus some investments, and in my retirement, $246,000.
And how are you going to pay for this old 50-year-old?
Well, I have no other debt. I have advantage to take about anywhere from $300 to $1,200 in overtime a month, and I can afford it. My ratios come in line with the mortgage.
Let me just make it easy. You're denied. Do not do this. Do not get yourself in trouble. You are way overextended. Overtime, $300 or $400 a month. In a recession, overtime goes away. You already have debt on this property. You're going to vacation there, but you have another property that you're going to have to sell in order to vacation, and who knows if you'll be able to sell it ever. Who knows whatever. I am telling you, do not do this. If you do this, you will find that you are in such trouble that you don't make enough money. You have $5,000 in save. Do not do this. I am begging you not to do this. Got it? I am begging you. You are denied. Oh, Milton, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
I want to go to 4 U2 shows.
How many have you already gone to, boyfriend?
Well, in total, about 36 over the years. And the last tour, I went to 9, and the previous one before that, I went to 14.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. I bring home $7,500 a month.
Yeah.
I have a $240,000 7-year ARM in mortgage, a $4,000 car loan, and $20,000 in savings.
You're 40. Can we just talk? Can we just talk here? You are 44 years of age.
Yeah.
You have gone to more U2 concerts and spent more money than you have in savings, than you have in retirement, if you add it all up.
Right.
You have all of those things. You are getting older here with a large mortgage, and all the music and wonderful experience that you experience when you go to these concerts is not going to help you retire. Do you get that? Do you get that? So you are denied because you have got to grow up. You've already lived this dream. It's no longer a dream. It's turned into a financial nightmare. You are denied, boyfriend. Jennifer, what do you want to buy?
My husband is looking to buy a Grady White fishing boat for about $20,000.
You know, whenever somebody calls in and they start off with my husband or my wife, I already know you want me to deny him, correct? That's what you
maybe.
want. Oh, maybe. All right. But $20,000 for a fishing boat. Why does he want to spend $20,000 on a fishing boat?
Well, we have a vacation home that we spend a lot of free time and our weekends at during the summer, and he likes to have the boat up there so that he can take the family fishing as well as his father.
Got it. So you need, obviously, a thing to put it in the water, to take it out of the water, maintenance, gasoline, insurance. So it's not just $20,000. Whenever you buy a boat, it's going to cost you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a year to take care of it. Show me the money.
We bring home $8,218 a month combined.
That's great, yes.
We have a $200,000 fixed-rate mortgage at 5% for 30 years.
Yeah.
We have $95,000 in savings and $190,000 in retirement.
All right, and how are you going to pay for this?
Well, initially, he had wanted to pay cash, and now with the economy and a little bit of a squeeze, we have the option to put it on an equity loan.
So you want to take out an equity line of credit or an equity loan to buy a boat because you are afraid to use your cash in case you lose a job or something goes wrong, correct?
Exactly.
So you're willing to increase your payments every single month in order to have this boat. How many children do you have?
We have 2.
And do you have a college fund set up for them?
Yes, we do.
You do. And is it an adequate one? How much do you have in that college fund?
Currently, they each have about $3,000 to $4,000 each.
Oh, so they have $3,000 to $4,000 each. You have a home that you own currently. So you're looking at this, and it seems like you have enough money to do this, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, here is my answer for you. You are denied. You can't afford it. And the reason that you can't afford it is because you don't have enough money in emergency money for yourself, if you ask me. Because why? You're afraid to use your emergency money and you want to take out a loan. That isn't how you buy something in this type of an economy. You want to send your kids to school, but $3,000 or $4,000 each is not a school funding for them. You should take that $20,000 if you want and fund the college education for them. Also, probably you want to own your home out sooner than later, increase your payments there, but you cannot afford it. You are denied. Want to be a part of the Can I Afford It segment? Go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you will find the information that you need to know there to come right here so I can tell you if you can afford it or not. Up next.
We have a financial planner who suggested investing some cash in a real estate investment trust, just as from our savings.
What, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Cynthia, you have a question for me.
Yes, Susie, I do. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
My husband and I are retired, and we have a financial planner who suggested investing some cash in a real estate investment trust, just as from our savings. And we wondered what you thought about it. CDs aren't paying very much, and he said the rate of return was about 6.5% over the last few years.
Yes, but here's my question for you. Is your main priority income from the amount of money you have in savings, or is your main priority keeping your money safe and sound so that nothing happens to it?
Keeping our money safe and sound.
Then the answer to that is, what, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Sure, maybe the overall rate of return was 6.5% over 3 years. I want to just, and let me tell you why it seems so high. A few years ago, real estate trusts were one of the best investments out there. I myself had a real estate trust. It was up 20 or 30%. And then it went down and down and down. So maybe 3 years ago is what propped up the returns over 3 years, but ask them, what was the return last year? What's the return this year? You don't want just something where we're still having problems with real estate, and it's a commercial real estate trust. What kind of real estate trust is it? Just to get income? Oh, just keep your money safe and sound, girlfriend. If that's your goal, stick by it. Becky in Ohio, what's up, girlfriend?
Hi, Susie. I have a question for you. Can you foreclose on a home if you can still afford the mortgage payment?
Oh, well, girlfriend, you can foreclose on anything you want. All you have to do is stop paying for it. It's really that simple. But remember, when you foreclose, when you stop paying, it affects your credit scores. When it affects your credit scores, everything else starts to increase. Your interest rates on credit cards, your possible car insurance premiums, depending on what state you live in. All kinds of things happen to you. So, oh, sure, you can do anything you want. You just heard me say, Becky, of course, she stops paying her mortgage payments. They'll foreclose on her. Even if she could afford the mortgage payments, she can stop doing it. However, please be very careful, everybody. With every action you take, there will be a reaction. So you have got to ask yourself the question, if you have money, and people can come after you and they find out that you have money, they can sue you, they can put liens on all kinds of things that you may own, they can garnish your wages if they win that lawsuit. And if you happen to stop paying on a mortgage that happens to be a recourse mortgage, which means they can come after you for recourse to get money from you because you owed it to them, guess what? They will. So be very, very careful with every action that you take. And I hope it's one made with integrity, because if you can afford something, you just might want to have to pay for it. You know what I mean? Let's go to the Midwest. I love the Midwest. Wisconsin. Jeanette, what's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my question, Susie. I love your show and appreciate your advice. My question is this. I recently applied for a business line of credit and was denied due to the fact that the business didn't have a credit history.
Yes.
I then found out that my commercial lender has never reported my mortgage to the credit bureaus. It is well over $1 million, and I've always paid on time. My current score is 740. So would asking them to report my payment help me at this point, or should I just leave it alone?
Yeah. First of all, your payment should be reported, obviously, to the credit bureaus. The good part about it, I just have to say, if you ever get in trouble and they're not reporting it, not going to hurt you. However, you already have a high FICO score, so it's not your FICO score that's keeping you from getting a commercial line of credit. It's the fact that your business just doesn't have a history yet. So why would somebody want to lend you money if they don't know that you could run a business? Remember the big difference between paying a mortgage payment and running a business. Up next, email.
And along with your new Twitter page, I hear you have a new saying.
Yes, I know. There, I can hear it coming in. It's time so that all of you can see Lou. Come on, Lou, for the email section. It's time for Lou to join me on the stage. What?
I hear you're twittering. You quietly started a little Twitter account, didn't
I
you?
did, a little Twitter account. But want to hear what's so funny about little Twitter? I go on Twitter and I try to get my name, Suze Orman. Oh no, somebody's taken my name. Try to take Susie O. Everything I tried to take that belonged to me, already gone. Who are all of you thieves that have taken my name that happens to be trademarked, everyone? However, I did Suze Orman Show and it let me be it. So want to Twitter with me? Want to reply to my little tweets? All you have to do is go to twitter.com/Suze Orman Show, and you and I will be tweeting with one another. Tweet me a little email.
All right, ready?
Chickadee.
From Stephanie, 32, in Chicago. I have worked very hard to pay down my credit card debt and get an emergency fund established. I maxed out my 401k. My question is, now what? I am hesitant to invest in the stock market, but wonder, is it better to do that, or should I start paying down my mortgage or student loans, the only debts I have left?
How old did Steph say she was?
32.
32. So, Steph, here's the answer to your question. First of all, congratulations, sweetheart. No credit card debt, you're maxing out, everything's great there. Here's what I would say to you at the age of 32. Chances are this is not going to be the last home that you buy. At this young age, who knows, you might get in a relationship, have children, maybe you're in one, who knows, situations change. So I would not be paying down the mortgage on my home unless I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are going to be in that home for the rest of your life. As far as your student loans go, depends on the interest rate of those student loans. Maybe you got student loans a few years ago where you were able to lock in 2.77%. Maybe if you pay them on time and everything, maybe they're at 1 3/4%. That is the lowest interest rate you will ever have in your life. So don't rush to pay them off when that's such a great interest rate. If, however, your student loans are at 6, 7, 8%, they're up there, then make that a priority to pay them off. However, I just have to question, is maxing out your 401k plan the best way to go? I personally, if your 401k plan matches your contribution, contribute up to the point of the match. Then after the match, if you qualify, a Roth IRA is the way to go. Got that, Steph?
Alrighty. And along with your new Twitter page, I hear you have a new saying now, too.
What's my new saying? Kidding? Oh, yeah, there it was. Did you hear it? Are you kidding? It's true.
Are you kidding?
Yes, I know. There you go. I could hear it coming in at me. I find myself all the time saying to people when I'm watching television, when I'm saying, to myself, I'm saying, are you kidding? So, yes, I'm saying it all the time.
That's great.
Like, because with everything happening in the United States of America today, don't you have to feel like, are you kidding? Is this really happening? Are you kidding? All right, so.
Well, now you can tweet your new saying out to everybody later.
Yeah, so everybody play with me. Let's Twitter. In fact, send in emails maybe, reply to something. Say, we could do it all kinds of ways, but yes, I have now joined the Twitter generation. So let's Twitter on home,
all
boyfriend.
Right, Suze.
That's it for tonight. So, quite the show. It started with Ross. I have to tell you, I'm still thinking about that man, that 28-year-old man, who I know he didn't want to get himself in that situation. I know he didn't want to do that to his parents, but how many of us do things that we don't want to do? And that's the problem. Remember, I always tell you, do what's right versus what's easy. Got that, everybody? Think before you do something. Just, this can all be prevented. It can be prevented if you just really think about something before you do it. All right, so here's what I really want you to think about. There's only one thing that matters when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe, and we will see you next Saturday night.